Hey Super Awesome Stampers, it's Super Awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to demonstrate our Jar of Flowers stamp set and the jar punch. So let me flip the camera around and you'll see my workstation. Hey Super Awesome Stampers, we're going to make this card today, so let's get started. So first you're going to grab a piece of smoky slate that's cut to the A2 size, so 8.5 by 5.5. Scored it 4 1/4, and I've already pre-scored it. So I'm going to use my bone folder and just crisp up that edge so it lays flat while I'm assembling it. Then I'm going to set that aside. And the first things that we're going to do today would be to do our stamping. So we've got the basic gray ink. So open that up. And then I've got the paper piercing mat right here because I'm using photopolymer stamps. So when you're using the photopolymer, you want to use a paper piercing mat or something underneath it to give a little bit of give. I've got these, my workstation is a table that's got that hard particle board. So if I stamped this image directly on my wood table, I wouldn't get a good ink transfer from the stamp to the paper. So there's that. And then we need a jar. So the jar comes from the jar of flowers, and so does the flowers. Let me move this up out of to the left while I am assembling. That's kind of my method. I pull from the right, and as I use it, I move it to the left. Okay, and then we're gonna do a thanks right there. All right, and then I'm done with the ink pad, this ink pad anyway, so I can close that up so I don't get it where I don't want it. And then I'm going to pull in the Mossy Meadow ink pad. And the stems are already mounted on a block. And the ink is a little bit light. My ink pad needs to be re-inked, but that's okay because your stems are in some water, so they don't need to be a bright, bold, Mossy Meadow green. Okay, so I think I'm done with the coloring. Next, I'm going to bring in the jar punch, and it's aptly named just jar. All right. So there we go. I got it really close to the edge there, but that's okay. We're going to fussy cut around those flowers. So perfectly punch out a jar, and I love our punches because they're easy to use. You don't need a big shot or die cutting machine. All right, so next step is to fussy cut. Oh, actually, well, I'm going to fussy cut the words while I'm got the scissors out. These are our paper snips, so they're super sharp, and they allow you to fussy cut with precision. And the tip is super pointy too, so if you can't find your paper piercing tool or whatever you use, you take your pick tool to attach embellishments, you can use the tip of your paper snips. Like I said, it's super pointy. All right, so we'll wind around that, thanks. Okay, so that one's fussy cut. I'm gonna round that corner a little bit. It's kind of hard to do this on camera. All right, so we're done with the paper piercing mat, so we're gonna move that out of the way. Before I fussy cut around those flowers, I'm gonna color them first. So I opted to use the, just so that I don't get color everywhere else. This paper that I'm using is our shimmery white. It's 80 pound, so it's thicker than our whisper white. So it's a good choice for things that you want to have a little bit more substance. All right, so I'm going to start with the Blushing Bride fat end. So we've got the fat end and the thinner end for writing. And my trick to stay within the lines is to outline the outside first, like all the petals. And then I just come in, sometimes I do circles. So this flower, we're just gonna do some circles. And I don't bother coloring in every speck I leave a little bit of white because flowers in nature aren't a saturated tone color. They usually have some kind of variation. So outline this one. And I'm not sure if I can zoom a little bit. Maybe I should try to zoom. There. So you get a little more, you can see me a little better coloring all this. This one I'm going to do circles too, because that's how I started it. And the last one, I will just go back and forth. So with our Stampin' Right markers, it's just an easy coloring option. Oh, I think there's a petal right there. Okay, so that's done. Then I grabbed my basic gray marker and I went over all of those petal ends just to accentuate maybe the darkness, you know, or where the light's hitting it. On all of them. And you're gonna watch me do it all today. How's that? I don't know if it's relaxing for you to watch somebody who's coloring, or maybe you're coloring along with me. I don't know where I've gone over. Let's see, I haven't done this flower yet. It looks lighter to me. So I'm just going over all of the lines where the image was on the outside and then the inside too. And then these little, I think they're called stamens or pollen, that we can highlight as well. So it just brings the flower, it brings it out a little bit, accents it. Okay, next color is the soft sea foam. And these kind of look like eucalyptus. There's 2 sprigs of those. Yep, they're here. Again, I'm just quickly coloring, just trying to stay within the lines. I'm not worrying about getting all of the image saturated with color. There's that, and then there's 2 sprigs of leaves. Okay, and then I chose the rich razzleberry to do the little berries here. We're gonna say those are blueberries. Blueberries that are ripening, how's that? And then these little, I suppose they probably are rosebuds. Oh, one of my lights just kind of went out there. But I wanted to pull some of that gray in, that gray color. So we're gonna have some gray roses just for contrast, right? Oh, there's 3 sprigs. Missed a sprig here. The largest leaf sprig I missed. Okay, yep, I think I got it all. All right, so next, I didn't do the power of television anything today. So you're gonna watch me all cut it out. I didn't have one of these done ahead of time. I can tell you that I did do this card at for a Facebook Live on my business Facebook page, so you can check there. It was a card that I made for my parents' anniversary. So instead of celebrating happy birthday that I've got on this card, I chose the happy anniversary. And the stamps come from the Many Mates stamp set, the sentiment stamps. The Jar of Flowers stamp does not have any sentiments in it. So I'll pull those in at the end of the video so you can see what's in both of the stamp sets. So I'm just fussy cutting around with my paper snips. And some people like to get right up to where that stamped image is. I like to leave a little bit of white around the image. Back up to where I had the punch really close. This one I'm going to get really close. There, okay, and that's going to be for trash. And then, all right, so I'm going to peek to see where my zoom is. There, okay, that's good. I want to just make sure that I'm still in the frame. All right, so I do want a little bit of contrast for the, oh, let's see, where's my, there it is. where is my tape end? So this is my scrap paper of Mossy Meadow. I just pulled from my scrap bin. So you can see I've kind of been working my way around as I do cards for occasions. Thank you cards. I sent the card that I made on the YouTube video out today to somebody who placed an order. So if you place an order soon, you might get this card in the mail. How fun is that? Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring in my card base. I'm going to start layering up. The next layer would be our Old World paper, embossed paper. So the embossing folder is called Old World paper, and I used it on the basic grade cardstock. This measures 4 by 5 1/4, and then this is what is left over. So it was 4 by 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to use that inside as well. All right, so since the basic grade is embossed, I am going to do 3 runs of this Stampin' Seal just to make sure it stays adhered to my card. And there's something on that. I don't know. Oh, no. There must have been something in my embossing folder. It kind of looks like a little bit of adhesive. Okay. Next layer is a circle of the Smoky Slate cardstock. And I wanted to share that I cut my Smoky Slate 12" by 3". It just fits. But if yours somehow slips and you don't get a full circle, just put the part that wasn't the full part towards the top, because you're going to cover it up with your jar there. Okay. So 3 runs there because it's being adhered to an embossed piece of paper. And I'm going to, as long as I'm right here, I'm going to put that adhesive on the bottom and run a bit of our Flowers for All Season, the white. This is gorgeous ribbon. I like neutral textures, so this fits the bill for a fun summer ribbon. And what I'm doing with the ribbon is I'm just crinkling it along that adhesive. Here we go. And it will mail beautifully when you do that. Okay. All right, next I gotta reach around you and grab the dimensionals, because we're gonna pop up the jar and the flowers and the thanks on the end with the TH. Right there. And then, oh, I got the jar a little crooked. I think I'm going to pull that off a little bit and reposition it. There. Okay, and the flowers go on top. And my next layer is going to be the thanks. So I put a dimensional on one end, and then I'm going to grab my glue dots and put a glue dot on the other end. That way it's the same thickness as the jar, and it's attached to the jar on the S end. All right, and last would be a little bit of our ribbon again. Use a little bit of the linen thread and just make a faux bow. And I generally make bows right off the roll of ribbon. That way you're not wasting any of the ribbon. Okay. And that looks about centered. Nope, yeah, that looks good. And then just use a glue dot to adhere that to the top of the jar. Pretty, right? So there's the outside of the jar. And then the inside of the jar, I just use a piece of Whisper White that's been cut to 1/6. So the Whisper White that I cut down is 8.5 by 11, and I cut it into 6 equal pieces, and that's what I put on the inside of the card. I'm sorry, I just stood up, so I'm not sure if you saw that. Let me show that again. I can pull that off of there. So you can see if you don't like it, you can reposition it. So you attach it to one end and then you just press it down every 1/2 inch until you get a pattern that you like. I'm going to have to move that over a little bit. And see, it'll press down when you mail it. Nice little detail there. Okay, so I attached the inside, but then there was that little strip. The little strip, where did it go? Right here. So the little strip, we don't want to add that to our waste pile. So we attach it with some adhesive to the inside. All right, and then I'm going to step away. I put it away, but I'm going to pull it back out because I liked it so much this morning. I used the dog builder punch, and I put some little hearts since it was an anniversary card, but I can certainly give this card to somebody that I'm going to thank with a couple of hearts in the inside. Here we go. They won't expect 2 hearts on the inside. Right there. There. Oh, I think I gotta tuck the glue dot a little bit. Sometimes hard to work on camera because you're working around the camera stand there. Okay, I think that's good. I don't think it will. Yeah, it's not gonna seal the card shut. All right, so that's my card. Pretty, right? Okay, so there are a couple other things I want to go through before I sign off here. Here is the framelit set that this large stitch circle came from. There are 4 stitched circles, 4 stitched ovals. You get those in there. And then also on the back side, there's 4 stitched squares. So it's a really great set to add to your stash. And the stitching really adds quite a bit of wow factor to your pieces when you use framelits that have stitching in them. So it's the stitch shaped framelits. That's where that circle came from. Oh, let's see here. Many Mates is where the sentiment came from. So there's the thanks, there's the celebrate, and the happy birthday. So a lot of great options in that stamp set. It's brand new in the new catalog. And then I mentioned this is the Jar of Flowers stamp set. And it coordinates with that jar punch that I used way in the beginning of the video. And the ribbon. The ribbon that I use, the white ribbon, comes in a combo pack. So these are the other 2 ribbons in the combo pack. This Midnight Delight. Oh gosh, that's a new in color. Can't remember what, Midnight something or other. I think it's Midnight Delight. And then this is the Just Jade Gingham that's also in this flower ribbon pack, and it's called Flowers for Every Season. And then last is the Jar Punch and the Jar of Flowers stamp set is sold as a bundle for 10% off the individual prices. So if you want to add that to your stash, make sure you enter the item number for the bundle in your online order and not the individual item numbers. All right, so last, I do have a host code going on. So if you place an online order, please use this host code 7HXJMY2M. And that way I know you liked my video and are ordering some of these products. And I'll slip a few fun things in your thank you card just for using this host code. And also Stampin' Up! Has 2 promotions going on right now. If you host an online party that has $250 in sales, you get $25 more in host rewards to spend. That's a super steal. And then if you want to sign up to be a demonstrator, I'd be happy to have you join my team. You can PM me with any questions or send me messages about what it means to be a demonstrator on my team. But new demonstrators that sign up in June get a free bundle. So the full details for both of these promotions would be at my website at superawesomestamper.com. All right, thanks for stamping with me. Make sure you turn on notifications so you know when I go have a YouTube video next. like my channel, and have a good day. Bye.